When I first left for the United States, I thought I was chasing the dream everyone talks about. It felt risky, yes, but necessary. Back then, the US promised opportunities one didn't think I could find anywhere else. And for a while, it delivered. I studied, worked hard, and built a life many people would consider successful. I had a stable income, I gained new skills, and I experienced the fast-paced, modern lifestyle that America is known for. But here's the truth no one really tells you. Success can feel empty when your heart longs for something deeper. The longer I stayed, the more I realized that while I had built a life in the US, it never truly felt like home. The busy schedules, the constant grind, and even the sense of independence came at a cost: loneliness, distance from family, and a nagging feeling that I was living someone else's definition of happiness. So after years abroad, I made a decision that some might call bold and others might call crazy. I packed up my life in the US and returned to the place where I truly belonged, the Philippines. And what I found here was more than nostalgia. It was a rediscovery of daily joys, deep family bonds, cultural pride, and opportunities one never expected. In this video, I'll take you through that journey. What life in the Philippines is really like after years in America, the contrasts, the challenges, the surprising benefits, and the lessons I've learned about what home really means. The American dream versus reality. When I first arrived in the United States, everything felt like stepping into another world entirely. The skyscrapers, the clean streets, the organized systems, it all looked like the dream I'd imagined. I focused on education and work, chasing opportunity daily. The paychecks were bigger, the gadgets were newer, and the sense of personal achievement felt deeply rewarding. For a time, I truly believed I had made it. But as months turned into years, cracks began appearing. The pace of life was relentless and exhausting. Always rushing from one shift to another nonstop. Stuck in traffic, paying bills, barely catching my breath. Healthcare, something essential, often felt like a luxury. Even with insurance, costs could drain your savings. A simple doctor's visit could cost hundreds of dollars. And then came the quiet kind of loneliness. Surrounded by people, yet feeling completely isolated inside. Neighbors kept to themselves. Friendships felt transactional and brief. The US gave me growth and new experiences. But opportunity without connection can feel painfully empty. What I lacked wasn't money, it was deeper belonging. The comfort of culture, the closeness of family ties. That realization planted the first seed of doubt. Maybe the American dream wasn't my dream after all. The decision to return. That seed of doubt slowly grew over time. I found myself daydreaming about family gatherings back home. Relatives who asked, "How are you?" and meant it. I missed food that tasted like my childhood. Conversations in a language that didn't need translation. The rhythm of a culture that felt natural. But my decision wasn't only emotional, it was practical too. The cost of living in the US kept rising. No matter how much I earned, expenses matched it. I longed for a slower, simpler, more balanced life. The Philippines offered a chance to live, not just survive. When I shared my plans, reactions were mixed and varied. Some friends thought I was giving up too soon. Others understood immediately and even envied the decision. My family, though surprised, was supportive and encouraging. They knew how much I missed feeling rooted again. It wasn't an easy choice by any means. I was walking away from stability and predictability, stepping into uncertainty, trusting my heart to guide me. Sometimes the greatest risk isn't leaving, it's staying too long, especially in a place that no longer feels like home. First impressions upon return. The day I landed back in the Philippines, unforgettable. The moment the plane door opened, warmth surrounded me. Humid, familiar air wrapped around me like a hug. Stepping out of the airport, chaos greeted me instantly. Jeepneys honking, vendors shouting, street food in the air. It was messy, loud, and absolutely beautiful to me. Family members waited with wide smiles and open arms. Unlike rushed airport pickups in the US, this was celebration. Hugs lasted longer. Laughter came easier. Joy felt effortless. For the first time in years, I felt I belonged. What struck me most was the immediate contrast. In America, I often felt like a stranger, just another face blending into the crowd silently. But here, every detail screamed familiarity and comfort. Jokes in Tagalog, home-cooked meals, uneven sidewalks I missed. It wasn't just nostalgia, it was deep, undeniable belonging. The Philippines embraced me, flaws and all, without hesitation. In that moment, I knew this wasn't a visit. This was home, and I had finally returned to it. Daily life and simple joys. Once I settled in, daily life became my teacher. Mornings started with walks to the local market nearby. Fresh vegetables, fish caught hours earlier, fruits without additives. Bargaining wasn't just about price, it was about connection. Sharing jokes and smiles before breakfast felt refreshing. Transportation reminded me of simplicity and shared experience. Riding a tricycle or jeepney wasn't always convenient, but it carried a sense of community and warmth. You weren't just commuting, you were sharing space and stories. Neighbors greeted me every morning with genuine kindness, something I rarely experienced in the U.S. suburbs. There were small, unexpected joys around every corner. Kids playing on the street, karaoke echoing at dusk. The aroma of barbecued skewers filled the evening air. These weren't luxuries, but they brought me real happiness. More than any shopping mall or high-tech gadget ever did. The biggest realization? Joy hides in ordinary daily rhythms. In the Philippines, I stopped chasing more and found enough. Happiness came from appreciating what was already around me. Family reconnection. One of the most powerful moments was reuniting with family. After years of video calls and short holiday visits, I was finally home for good, no return ticket. Hugging my parents without airport goodbyes felt surreal and grounding. My siblings had grown, changed, and welcomed me back warmly. Cousins, aunts, and uncles embraced me like I never left. Suddenly, I wasn't a visitor, I was family again. Family gatherings here are unlike anything I knew in America. Laughter fills the room. Food flows endlessly. Karaoke never stops. Meals aren't just eating, they're reconnecting, teasing, and storytelling together. I realized how much I missed being truly known. In the US, independence was celebrated and deeply expected. I lived alone, managed everything, and solved problems solo. That independence taught me strength, but also deep isolation. In the Philippines, family bonds replace isolation with interdependence. You're never alone. Someone always checks in or sits beside you. And that, I discovered, is a kind of wealth that no paycheck or promotion could ever truly match. Community and belonging. Beyond family, the community embraced me with open arms. In the US, I often lived among complete strangers. Neighbors I saw daily didn't even know my name. Here, community thrives in every corner and every gathering. Barangay events, church services, and fiestas define Filipino life. During fiestas, streets become one giant celebration of joy. Tables overflow with food, music blasts, kids run freely. Everyone is welcome, status doesn't matter, only connection does. Church gatherings go beyond worship. They're about shared purpose and support. Even small barangay meetings reveal how neighbors work together. What struck me most was how people truly care. If your light goes out, someone brings you candles. If you're sick, food appears at your doorstep. If you miss an event, someone checks on you. In these moments, I realized something deeply profound. In the US, I was navigating life alone. Here, I'm part of something larger and more meaningful. A network of relationships, traditions, and shared values surrounds me. Belonging here doesn't just make life easier, it makes it richer. Cost of living and money matters. One clear difference is the cost of living here. In America, bigger paychecks came with endless expenses attached. Rent, utilities, insurance, groceries, and car payments stacked up. Even small luxuries like dining out felt financially draining. In the Philippines, my income stretches much further every month. Housing is affordable, food is cheaper, and transport is manageable. For the price of one US meal, I enjoy an entire day's worth of street food. Skewers, pancit, halo, simple, delicious, and budget-friendly meals. It's not about being cheap, it's about true value. Of course, there are trade-offs and limitations to consider. Paychecks are smaller, and imported goods cost much more. But the lifestyle feels freer, less pressured, more balanced. Instead of working non-stop just to cover basic bills, I found space to breathe, save, and enjoy life. The biggest shift was redefining what wealth really means. It's not just about how much you earn monthly. It's about how far it carries you and uplifts you. In that sense, the Philippines gave me true abundance. Health, wellness, and aging. One of my biggest stressors in the US was healthcare. Even with insurance, medical bills felt like looming threats. A single emergency visit could wipe out your savings. Premiums, copays, and paperwork made healing feel like a maze. Back in the Philippines, I found a different approach. Hospitals aren't perfect, but care is far more affordable. Doctor visits, lab tests, and hospital stays cost less. Natural remedies and community care still thrive in daily life. Neighbors suggest herbal teas, family joins you at appointments. Healing here feels communal, not isolating or transactional. What touched me most was how aging is handled. In the US, many elderly live alone or in homes. Here, aging happens surrounded by family and daily love. Parents are cared for, grandparents are honored and cherished. They're seen as wisdom keepers, not burdens to manage. It made me reflect deeply on my own future. Growing old isn't feared, it's embraced with dignity and laughter. That perspective brought me peace I never found in America. Culture and heritage rediscovered. One of the greatest gifts was rediscovering my culture. I had grown up with it, but never fully appreciated. Festivals here aren't just events. They're living expressions of joy. Sinulog costumes, Adi-Adahan parades, Barangay fiestas all have rhythm. Each celebration pulls you in with color and energy. Local customs reminded me of values woven into daily life. Pagmamano shows respect, Bayanahan lifts neighbors, Pasalubong builds connection. These gestures may seem small, but they carry meaning. Together, they form a rich and uniquely Filipino identity. Then there's the language and humor I missed deeply. Cracking jokes in Tagalog or dialect feels instantly comforting. Understanding puns and expressions without translation is pure joy. Humor here isn't just laughter. It's about shared understanding. Living abroad gave me perspective, but also deep appreciation. Pride in heritage grows stronger when you're far from it. Returning home wasn't just seeing familiar places again. It was reclaiming cultural pride I now carry daily. Nature, beauty, and pace of life. Another rediscovery was the natural beauty all around me. In the Philippines, breathtaking views are never far away. One weekend it's a beach with crystal clear water. Next, it's rice terraces stretching into the horizon endlessly. Mountains scrape the sky, and nature feels close again. In the US, vacations like these required long flights. Here, paradise feels almost within arm's reach every day. But beyond scenery, the pace of life truly shifted. My calendar in the US was always packed tight. Here, the rhythm is slower and more intentional. People take time for conversations and longer meals together. No one judges you for sitting and watching life. Daily gratitude comes naturally in this peaceful environment. Sunsets paint skies in colors cities can't replicate. Coconut trees sway. Fresh air fills your lungs. These aren't luxuries. They're reminders of life's simple beauty. Slowing down doesn't mean falling behind. It means catching up. With yourself, with loved ones, and with life itself. Challenges and adjustments. Of course, coming home wasn't perfect or without challenges. The Philippines, like any place, has its daily frustrations. Traffic in cities can test your patience constantly. Bureaucracy often requires time, persistence, and extra patience. Systems don't always move as fast as in America. That can be frustrating if you're used to efficiency. Infrastructure struggles are real. Electricity outages happen without warning. Internet speed lags behind, especially outside major urban areas. Politics can be messy, unpredictable, and sometimes disheartening. But despite these challenges, perspective changes everything over time. Yes, I had to adjust, but I gained much more. Time with family, a sense of community, and balance. Inconveniences became background noise compared to daily joys here. In the US, life was efficient but often empty. Here, life is sometimes inconvenient, but it feels full. When I weighed the two, the trade-off was clear. It was worth it 100 times over, easily. Opportunities in the Philippines. One misconception I had was about giving up opportunities. What I discovered instead was a country full of potential. Remote work opened doors for Filipinos to work globally. We can stay rooted here and still connect worldwide. For someone with experience abroad, bridging both worlds feels exciting. Startups are flourishing, businesses are growing across many industries. Food ventures, tech solutions, and creative projects are thriving. The middle class is expanding and fueling innovation demand. Cities like Manila, Cebu, and Davao are rapidly evolving. Infrastructure projects and connectivity make life more dynamic daily. Opportunities aren't just economic, they're deeply personal as well. Here, I pursue passions I never had time for. I invest in relationships and contribute to community projects. I build a life that's about purpose, not just money. The Philippines isn't perfect, but it's full of promise. Being here isn't about what I left behind. It's about what lies ahead, and I'm grateful for it. Lessons learned. Looking back, one of the greatest lessons I've learned is that money and success don't guarantee happiness. In the US, I earned more than I imagined, yet I often felt empty despite the achievements. I had the car, the gadgets, the paycheck, but I also had stress, bills, and loneliness. It was a trade that never felt truly fair. Returning to the Philippines changed how I measure wealth. Here, happiness is found in Sunday lunches with family, in neighbors dropping by just to chat and laugh, in the sound of karaoke and fiesta celebrations. Community and family aren't side notes. They're the foundation here. That doesn't mean my years in the US were wasted. They gave me skills, discipline, and valuable perspective. America taught me independence, hard work, and ambition. But the Philippines gave me something even more profound. It gave me life itself, connection, joy, and presence. It reminded me to slow down and appreciate moments. If I had to summarize it all simply, the US trained me for success and achievement. But the Philippines taught me how to truly live. And that balance is the greatest gift I've received. As I reflect on this journey, I feel grateful. Grateful for both countries and all they've taught me. The US gave me opportunity, growth, and perspective. But the Philippines gave me back my heart and soul. Home isn't just a place, it's where peace lives. It's where your laughter rings truest and roots run deep. Coming back wasn't about giving up on America. It was about returning to the person I truly am. The real measure of home isn't your paycheck size. It's the strength of your relationships and community bonds. It's the comfort of knowing you truly belong somewhere. After years of chasing the American dream abroad, I finally found my real home in the Philippines. Not the place I left, but the one I rediscovered. And if there's one closing thought I'll leave you, home isn't always where you start your journey. Sometimes, it's where life finally feels complete and whole. For me, after years in America's fast-paced world, I came back, not just to the Philippines, but to the life I was always meant to live.